We've got 10 seconds remaining. Looks like it's going to be a draw. Looks like it's heading for a draw. Maguire down the line. North. Oh! Ryan Hall! Ryan Hall scores for Leeds and wins the league leading
Hi everybody, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17A podcast, kindly sponsored by ACD&B, who are a branding and creative design agency based in Farsley, Leeds. They create standout brands. If any companies out there need a brand new logo or a brand refresh, just get in touch with ACD&B. We thank them as always for their sponsorship of us and their help with the fanzine as well. This is the match review panel for OKR versus Leeds Rhinos. Joining me as always, right-hand man, co-host, Statman Reese. How are you, Reese?
Before we came on, I was a bit tired. I've been down in Leamington Spa today with work, just got back. And then I'm going to timestamp this. It's currently 8:07. Willie Nonto's just scored a goal after 56 seconds at Old Trafford. So I'm chuffed at the moment. Absolutely chuffed. Let's give it to this Scubala guy to the end of the season.
Reese can slowly provide us updates throughout this podcast because we are recording this live as the game, the Scum versus Leeds game, is developing. So Reese can update us through that because it's not on telly. But it is on telly in a Ugandan airport, Reese tells us.
Yeah, my mate is in an airport in Uganda and he can watch the game live, whereas I'm currently trying to find a stream. Although I shouldn't say that because the police will come knocking, won't they? But yeah, trying to find a way to watch it.
Who's on with us today, Reese?
Well, since he sponsors us, it's only nice that we ask him to come along a couple of times, isn't it? So we've got Chris from ACD&B. Hi, Chris.
Hiya. You all right?
Yeah,
Welcome back, Chris. Nice
No
to
worries.
see you. You actually went to the game, which always helps, especially in pre-season, because myself and Reese kind of just fumble through. We haven't been to one pre-season game yet. We've had guests on who have given away a podcast secret there. So in terms of this game, Chris, the scoreline kind of reflects, from the highlights we've seen, Leeds did play poor. We do like to start, as you know, with positives. In terms of positives, Chris, what can Leeds take from this one?
We got some more practice with the short kickoffs. In fact, you like this. I think we purposely played crap for that reason.
just to practice short kickoffs.
We're now on to the triple bluff, the quadruple bluff.
It came off 75% of the time.
Did it?
Yeah.
And is there a certain player that's catching it then?
Sam
Are
Waltz.
we saying that, right, Leon Ruin's there, like that's where the kick's going every time, or is it?
It was always to the left, and I think Sam Waltz caught a lot of them.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the man mountain in that team.
I'm just, are they going to do it? Is it a bluff?
Oh, we talked about this last week, didn't we? I think he'll do it.
I do.
Watch it.
I want him
You
to.
watch it now. First game of the season next week against Warrington. He'll do a short kick, and Matt Duffy will catch it and run the length of the pitch and score within 10 seconds.
And then Twitter will blow up.
And then we won't do it again ever.
Right, positives. I hate pre-season games for this because we don't know what the coaches have said, but the OKR were playing like it was a playoff game. And to be honest, they weren't that good neither. Everyone's raving about how good they were. They were really sloppy. We were just worse. But Reece Martin, I'm sure Reece Martin said in an interview that they just didn't have a game plan. It was just go out and you could sort of tell there were no game plan. There wasn't, they'd not looked at the opposition. They're not done that. And I think just everyone makes too much out of these pre-season games. It's as we said, we won all those pre-season games last year, and how crap were we at start of season? So I don't think they mean much. But I think positives. Ruan has been best player out of all three. I've been to all three, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But I think that's led to Edwards leaving. I think there's been a bit of let's see which of these young kids are going to be able to step up. And they all have, really. They all have. Lissone, he's impressed me, actually. He's got far more rugby in him than I thought. He's got some great hands for a big guy. I think he's going to be great. A lot of time, he doesn't just barge it through. He'll go and he's got a nice pass in him. So I've been quite impressed with them. I thought Sam Walters were good. He didn't play loads of minutes, caught a few short kickoffs, but I think he definitely sees him as a prop.
So you think he's in the prop category?
I think he sees him as a prop.
Well, he actually, Rowan actually said after this game in the press that he said he sees Sam as a middle, so he obviously is in that prop kind of rotation. You kind of touched on Ruan there, Chris. Do you think he has been the star pre-season, as you said, over the 3 games you've seen? We've spoke about him lots in these friendly reviews. Do you think he's got a chance of starting, of getting some Super League games this year?
I think he's got a chance of starting against Warrington.
Yeah.
He's a young kid. His defence and his reads are always great, but I'm fine with that. He's a young kid, isn't he? So he's never going to learn, but he seems to have loads of raw talent. And he's the one that surprised me because I thought he'd be the one that would take longest to sort of step up. Lewis Roberts looks good. He's had some great touches. He scored a brilliant try against Lee.
Yeah, he did.
So is he a centre or is he a wing? Because
he's a centre, but he's playing wing. He will play wing. I stuck him out on the wing, but I know we're talking about OKR, but when I was at the league game, there was switching centre positions so much, but he did play at centre, and I think he'll play a few this year. So I'm not particularly negative about the OKR game. I don't know what people are expecting from a pre-season game, but another big positive, and it's about all three, is Tommy Allroyd. It's like we've signed a new player. He's
big year for him.
He's going to have a big year, I think. He's just no nonsense, isn't he? As long as he doesn't smack a few.
I didn't realise he had that in him until that reserve game. Like,
I mean, I'm not one for fighting, but Jesus.
Perhaps it was just like years, like a decade's worth of anger. You know,
he must have played against that guy in the junior system or something, hasn't he? He's clearly played against that guy for years.
But he looks in proper good nick.
Yeah,
good. And he's no nonsense, straightforward. I think with Sangare, I think we're all right for props. I think his middle unit's going to be good this year. And like I say, they've all got a bit of ball playing in them, and I think that's good. We're going to need it against Warrington because they've got some big lads, haven't they?
I think that kind of ball playing aspect that you mentioned there plays into Rowan's play style as well. Do you? I think he's going to want that from his props.
100%. I think what we're seeing from Rowan Smith, which I love, by the way, and people are slating him for it, is that he does everything a bit differently, doesn't he?
Short kickoffs.
Yeah, everything's a bit of a, why are you doing it like that? We can do it like this. But I think underpinning all that is, he talks about connectivity, doesn't he? And I think it's all about the team. and that'll feed into what we're talking about the captain later. But I think and I think that's a great philosophy. And it's not just the first team squad, is it? It gets them all together. I know he's got a lot of goodwill because of last year, but I just like it that we've got someone that's a bit different, a bit exciting.
So I think you're right. I think
I like his press conferences because he don't give a shit, does he?
He clearly doesn't want to do them, does he?
Well, they asked the stupidest question. He said, I don't know whether you've seen the one from OKR, and somebody asked him, is McDonald going to be fit for Warrington? And he's like, I think I've said in my last 12 press conferences, McDonald's not going to be fit for Warrington.
Not going to be fit.
What's betting that he's named in starting lineup?
Starting lineup at fullback.
Yeah. So I think he's great. And I like the fact that he's ruffling feathers because opposition fans have seemed to have taken a dislike to him. Great.
Which is always good. We like that.
Love it. So, yeah, there were loads of positives, I think. We just went out and we were really sloppy. Like, I don't know what his completion rate was in first half. It was terrible. But it's pretty. It don't matter, does it?
Some of the defence looked a bit weak, especially for the tries that we conceded. We seem to be falling off a couple, especially around that centre position as well. From what I saw,
Ryan Hall beasted a few on that side. Although I thought, bloody hell, his name, Fussy Tua, aimed up quite well in defence in the centre position. He smacked Ryan Hall a few times. I thought he actually looked all right. I don't think he'll play there, but I thought it looked all right. So, yeah, with defence, it were all a bit like, but without knowing what they were told to go out and do, I don't know. In some respects, it might be better that they've had that performance.
Could be. I think win, lose or draw, we're still getting all the way and winning the grand final.
You said they're winning every game this season anyway, Lottie. You've already said that on this podcast.
We are. I'm not even. The men are winning it. The men are winning every game. We haven't spoke about the women's side yet, but they will not be beaten by anyone. The women's side next year. We'll put a pin in that. Talk about that. I think
look at this side, you might be right, but anyway.
Chris, you mentioned there that the prop unit, the props are looking really healthy. Me and Reese agree. One positions, plural, that we do feel we are a bit weak in is at half-back. Aidan Caesar, high shot on Lachlan Coote. Coote was slipping. I do think it was unavoidable. How did you see it, Chris? And more importantly, do you think he'll be banned?
That's two separate things, really, isn't it? But I think it was right in front of me.
Welcome to the lot pod.
There was absolutely nothing he could do.
I agree.
OKS pitch where everyone was slipping all over it. I don't know what was going on, but his arm were there and his arm hit him. His head hit his arm. Yeah. It didn't.
Has to make that tackle.
I mean, I saw somebody say on Twitter that it was a swinging arm to head, and I'm like, well, you're allowed to swing your arm to tackle, but
you're allowed to make the tackle. Of course you are, yeah. There's no way Aidan Caesar could envisage he's going to slip now. How would he know?
If that's a ban, then we've got a long season ahead. The only thing he might get banned for is he went over to him. He went over to him to apologise, and Coote smacked him. I was like, what are you doing? And then Mikey Lewis ran in and all hell broke loose. But
Mikey Lewis definitely picking a fight.
I can almost understand the yellow card, even though I think it's a bit harsh. He hit him in the head. So take that on chin. But
you've got a split second to react in that situation, haven't you? Yeah, if you're coming to commit a tackle, and to be fair, Caesar's body height wasn't a bad body height. You can't.
No, he wasn't.
Once you've committed to that tackle, you can't pull out. It's a genuine accident, and it got made into a bigger thing because of Mikey Lewis running in like that. It just wasn't needed. Like He will get banned. He will get a ban for it because it's the RFL.
Do you think?
But
I don't think he will. I think they might see a bit because they've changed rules a bit, haven't they? It's got to be a grade C. He might get a fine, but it just wasn't a high tackle.
No.
I don't know what he could have done.
No,
and Cook had been a bit of an idiot, really, because he swung at him, and apparently Caesar went over to say, "Look, I'm sorry," and he lashed out at him.
Yeah.
So we're all a bit of a nothingness, really. I think the fact that Cook got sin bin, he might not have even been sin bin for high tackle. It might have been just I don't know. If he gets banned, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah. But I do agree we're a bit short in the halves. We're a bit short in the halves.
We had Blake Austin and Aidan Caesar playing. Did you see anything this Hull KR game for us to kind of be excited for that combination for 2023, Chris? No,
there were nothing. But I thought again, I don't know what they were told to play. I don't know what. There was no real link. I'm quite a big Blake Austin fan. I do like him. I like his attitude. He went all right, I thought, but it was just a bit of a nothing game. Do you know what I mean? Nothing to take out of it. I don't think that's how we'll play. I don't think you can say, well, I think what they need is Austin and Caesar is a run of games together, which they've not really had, have they?
No, they haven't had a lot of run of games together. But I'm more impressed with Austin. I mean, Tom in the comments is saying that he doesn't think Austin's good enough. I think Austin, especially in the second half of the season, played better.
Yeah,
and had a good half of the season, but it hasn't quite clicked in their creativity yet, I don't think, and that is a concern for me going into the season.
Yep, I agree. But it might click, might it? I don't know. They've not had a run of games together. Austin's not a regular six. I don't think.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he's quite big as well, isn't he? And I think he's got his own style. I didn't think he was going to be as good defensively, but he puts his body about, doesn't he? I like him. I've always been a big fan from watching him, even in NRL. I was chuffed that we signed him. I'm not overly worried. I think they'll click. I think Caesar's last year, he started with a hip injury, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a groin injury, didn't he, or something where he couldn't get off the ground. It was something. He had some injury, didn't he? I can't remember what it was.
And I think if he can stay fit and not get banned for ridiculous high tackles that weren't, I think I'm not overly worried. I'll say that Jack Sinfield looks to be bigger. I think he'll get his chance this year as well. I think he looks more composed. Doesn't look as rabbit in the headlights, and he's just bigger. In fact, I was surprised how much sort of bulk he's put on.
He's been on that diet, hasn't he?
He's been on that Max Simpson, Ivan Drago program.
And especially against Bradford, he was very good when he came on. Really controlling and things like that. And I think we might have to revert to Cruz Lehman going 7 if, at some points. And it did work last year, didn't it? So
yes, about to say it's no bad thing. You're going team of the year from half back.
Yeah, we are short. We are short on halves, I think, but we'll see.
Are you a fan, Chris? We've seen a lot of versatility from Rowan Smith. He's played a lot of, I think every player in blue and amber has played centre in pre-season. Ash Hanley's been at full-back. Morgan Gannon's been at half-back. Chris, are you a fan? Me and Reese have spoken
about Morgan Gannon as new half-back. Yeah, forgot about Morgan Gannon. I totally get why he's done it, and I think that's why we've had the results we are. I think he looked at last season and he saw the disruption we had, and I think he just needed to see who can do what. I tell you what, Ash Handley was brilliant at fullback against Lee.
Really?
He was, yeah. He was. he ain't got the Richie Myler sort of chiming in the line and pass but the speed and catch it. He was really good. I was really impressed. In fact, he impressed me at centre. I think
he'll have a better running ability than Myler, won't he? He's obviously when Myler runs in from fullback, you're not really expecting much, and more often than not, he gets absolutely clattered.
Yeah,
but
and
Hanley will run in hard.
That's what he were doing. He were getting it and going for it, and he's quick, isn't he? So I'd have no issues with Hanley going at fullback, none at all. In fact, he looked all right at centre. I think he's a class player, isn't he? He's underrated. He doesn't get the wide plaudits, I don't think. He should have been in that England side last year.
No, definitely should have been.
I agree. Yeah, should have been playing.
So Handley. So yeah, I am a fan of it actually. I think you're going to need it, aren't you? You're going to need it.
A long season.
Yeah, and I think let him have a go at different. Morgan Gannon wasn't bad at 6.
I get the need for versatility, but I still have some nervousness about certain players playing certain positions. Like I need to see this Morgan Gannon at halfback to believe it. It still hasn't quite registered in my mind yet. It's getting there.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm genuinely obsessed with it.
He ain't a number 6, but what he is he's a devastating runner, isn't he? And he knows when to run.
Yeah,
and his passing skills are outstanding. When I saw him play at 6, I that's not what I expected from him. He's a bit like Handley, but maybe a level above. He's just all class, isn't he?
Just a good rugby player.
He's all class. He'll be an international this year, I think. He's don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the best second rowers in the league. He's Morgan Gannon.
But we've got good depth at second row, haven't we? So, if you've got a player that's good, where else can we fit them in? And if that's what Rowan's doing, I don't mind that.
I don't mind Reece Martin at centre. A lot of people don't like that, but I think he's all right at centre because he is fairly quick, isn't he?
Have we actually started a centre at centre during pre-season?
We ain't got a centre fit, have we?
I don't think we do.
Alforts is your closest, I think.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Roberts, and he started at centre.
I think all of them have. I think Sam Lasona.
Everyone's played centre.
They've all had a go, haven't they? But Alforts has looked steady. I can sort of get the signing now when I've seen him play. So I'm really upbeat despite the doom and gloom of the pre-season. But I think we're going to have a really interesting and entertaining year. Which, to be fair, you don't want to play boring rugby, do you?
Oh, it's boring winning all the time. I prefer to do it from 5th or 6th anyway. It makes it more entertaining, winds people up more.
I think we'll get second, but I think we'll do it in an entertaining way, an unorthodox way. It's a bit like when Rowan came in and we were doing that defensive line thing and we were all pulling his hair out of why are you not moving up?
Yeah.
And then we end up at a grand final.
Yeah, no, exactly. You're right.
I don't know.
It worked.
Be an interesting year, I think.
We lost the game, everybody. 26-4, I think it was. 24-6.
Yeah, Reece
Martin. 24-6 or 26-4.
No, it was definitely 26-4 because Reece Martin missed.
Oh dear.
It was from the touchline.
That's an anomaly in itself. On to a bit of other club news that we've had through this week since the KR game. I think we'll start with, we kind of touched on it briefly. Rowan Smith confirmed that there'll be no captain for the start of 2023. Reece, do you think we put too much emphasis on captains in this day and age? Like players like Kev, they are once, in a century type players. But do you think, perhaps in sport as a whole, do you think it's kind of the captain role has changed, Reece? And do we need a captain at the Rhinos per se?
You're always going to have a captain on the pitch, aren't you? So that's not going to change. And you'll always have leaders. My initial reaction to it was I thought it was a bit strange. I was kind of thinking, does that mean he's not confident that he doesn't have a standout leader in there? But I also turned my nose up at Hanley being vice captain or even captain, and then when I see him play, and especially when he's chasing down was it at Magic when he chased down about 60 meters and ran faster than Jai Fields? That's captain, that's leadership, and so yeah, we probably think too much of it. But my initial concern with it was, does that mean he hasn't got a standout leader? He's not confident that he's got someone that that you can rely on. Sorry, everyone that's listening on Spotify, by the way, it's just jumped when they're listening in the car tomorrow. But yeah,
Switch lane.
I do wonder if we'd have looked too much into it, but at the same time, I'm like, my worry is that because he doesn't feel like he's got a standout leader.
I think
Chris, how do you see it?
I think he's just continuing what he did last year. I think because Lehman was out quite a lot, wasn't he? And we had loads of different captains. And I think
it didn't affect us, did it?
No, I'm a bit like Reece. I was like, oh, well, that's a bit weird. Like actually coming out and doing a press release about it. But I think they were getting questions, weren't they? And I think he's a team first coach, isn't he? It's all about the team.
Definitely.
And I don't think he'll have done this without consulting the players neither, which I think is important. I don't think it really matters. I don't know. If you've got Kevin Sinfield in your team, he's going to be captain.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And it's all right saying, well, we were successful when we had a captain like Kevin Sinfield. Well, you're not going to get... There's probably him and Andy Farrell, isn't there? In recent history.
So that's two in 100 years.
Yeah, and you look at all the teams, they change the captain every year. So what are they saying there?
Yeah.
It's somebody who does time costs and can speak to the ref.
Yeah.
So where I'm probably thinking is
that way.
Last year, every press conference, Rowan Smith was saying, I only care about next game. I don't care about the table. So maybe he's thinking that with his captain. So if they've got a specific game plan, there'll be a specific leader. I actually think I didn't mention him actually earlier on about positives. Cameron Smith was easily the best player on the pitch when he were on. I know that's music to your guys' ears, but I think he'll end up being captain a lot of time.
I think as well. I think part of it is that I'm not sure that if you pick someone to be captain, if Crew stay captain, I'm just not sure he'll start every week because he's going to get pushed by Jared.
Yeah,
and then obviously you get injuries as well and everything else that comes into it. But Jared's going to have another year under his belt, and hopefully he'll be moving forward. So people, I do wonder whether part of it is that Rowan doesn't have a set 13 in his mind that. He's confident that person's always going to be in there, so why not just have a group that? And like you say, if it is a game plan thing where Liam doesn't play because it's not the game plan, then he has Reece Martin or Cam Smith or Hanley to step up.
And it can be a weight on players' shoulders, can't it?
Yeah, it can distract people from what they're good at.
I don't think it matters that much. I can't believe that everyone's.
Yeah, Twitter went a bit too far of it, didn't it?
That's unlike Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook's worse. I don't really look at. I don't really.
Oh yeah, that Facebook group. God,
it's like that we dead set nailed on coming last because we've lost to OKR and we've not got a captain. I mean,
no captain.
Yeah, I dread to think if we lose a few games, but it does make me laugh. I think it's just part of his philosophy of. You've got a group of men there, so you don't particularly always need a person there calling the shots. And maybe Ron Smith's going to call the shots from stands. I can remember against Castleford, I think we were losing 10-0 or 8-0, and we got a penalty right in front of the sticks. Cruz Lehman were going to tap it, and Rowan Smith were going mental. Like, get that kicking tee on.
Yeah.
So maybe he's thinking
So
that the calls like that.
I'm just looking through the Twitter comments now. Actually, someone's put he's been on the Jesse Marsh LinkedIn page. So there's some quite good responses on it anyway. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it's let's see. I don't think it matters that much. I mean, it's not a player walking around telling everyone what to do, is there? I mean, we've got two halfbacks that'll be organising team. It doesn't mean they need to be captain.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. We've got
people like Reece Martin lead just by playing.
They always have to, haven't they?
Yeah.
For the last couple of years, he's the one doing the talking, and he don't need a captain's armband. It'll just be brilliantly confusing for the refs.
Yeah, referee and all the Rhinos players are looking at each other going, is it you this week or is it me?
Yeah.
All 13
Captain!
players just all 13
Can
players
have the captain.
go to the referee. We're all captain this week, sir.
So yeah, we'll see. Yeah. I don't think it's the big thing that everyone's made it out to be.
No, it isn't. It isn't. It's just another Rhinos bluff. We're just throwing poker face everywhere.
I like it.
You don't know who our captain is. Yeah, you don't know if we're going to go short on kickoffs. You haven't a clue who's playing centre.
Yeah, no to mark.
The opposition are just like, what the fuck is going on? Before they know it, they're losing 18-0. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Ron Smith is just revitalising the way we play the game. I love it.
Yeah,
absolutely, I love it.
Perfect.
In the comments section, as we record this podcast live on YouTube, Tim Appleton has asked, just swiftly moving on, I think several of the development signings will turn out to be inspired. The marquees do remain the problem. Quick question, what's your take on the departure of Levi Edwards? It was confirmed today as we record this that Levi Edwards has left the Rhinos and signed a 3-year deal at York, Reese. What's your take on Levi leaving the Rhinos?
I'm a bit surprised by it, because there's a lot of talk about how good all the potential that Levi had, and to be honest, I'm surprised that if he has gone for a permanent move, I'm surprised it's gone to the Championship. I was kind of expected it. It felt like a classic Wakey signing, to be honest.
Yes, that's my surprise too.
I wonder whether York had a deal with first option, I don't know. But obviously he was on loan there last year. I thought if he was going to go out, he'd go out on loan to York again, probably. So no, it did take me by surprise. But as Chris said earlier, it might be because some of the people that we brought in are just playing better. I mean, Leon Ruins had a fantastic pre-season, and maybe that has pushed Leeds into that decision. Going, look, I mean, the reality of the situation is you're not going to get an opportunity at this rate. So he's got himself an opportunity at York. So fair play to him, and I hope he does well. I hope we don't live to rue it, but I am surprised that him leaving permanently and who he's gone to.
I'm not that surprised he's gone to York. I'm a big admirer of York. I think they're doing some brilliant stuff. The stadium's great. I don't know if you've ever been. It's like
the LNER one. What's it
I went to watch Women's World Cup last year. It's a lovely little stadium. It's a really nice complex. They've just redone the branding. They've done a great job. Take note, Derek Beaumont.
I still can't believe that's true.
I think they've got a lot going for him, and I think the problem with him going to somewhere like Wakey, which, like you say, I think they're in a really weird stage of Wakefield, aren't they? Like they're trying to get the stadium sorted. We're going to this licensing thing. They're going to be shitting themselves that they're not going to get licensing to Super League. I can understand him going there. It's like familiarity. He knows people, so it's. I think it's quite a good move. I've not seen a lot of him, so I'd hate to sort of diss him, but he was the least impressive of all the young kids that have been playing. And I think his opportunities this year will be really limited because we've got who's he got ahead of him? He's got Roberts, Ruan, McDonnell can play centre, can't he?
I mean, there's Luke Hooley as well. I don't know if he can play centre at any point.
Well, they can all play centre, can't they? But as we've seen,
Can they play it well? Yeah, sorry, yeah. I can play centre.
Alfords, and obviously we're hoping that as actual first choice centres will be fit. So he's like 6th or 7th down line, isn't he?
Max Simpson.
And Max Simpson, when he's back, who's going to be great, I think. So I think he's probably looked at that, and I'm not sure a loan is doing anyone any good. I don't know. I can see why you might think, well, I'll go back to York. And like I said, I'm a big admirer of what they're doing up there. I think I'd like to see him in Super League at some point. I think it's a bit untapped in it, York. It's a good distance away from,
I agree.
You know, the sort of hub of all the West Yorkshire teams and all that. I think North Yorkshire. And as I say, the stadium's a great little place. Really
I just
good.
like the fact it's not on the M62.
Exactly, yeah. So
that's the best thing about it.
Yeah. So it's
keep it away from 62.
I can understand why he's gone.
The only thing that surprised me about it is that he did go to York simply because Corey Hall made the switch from the Rhinos to Wakey, and is now probably one of the first choice centres at Wakefield. And I kind of felt that Levi might have felt similar if he could get in at Wakefield or someone really rubbish like Cass. He might get a chance of, once he gets that chance, of cementing his place there. And we have, same as what Chris said, we've only seen little bits of him, but the potential and what people have said seems to be there. And I guess he might show us at York what he's made of.
Yeah, so I'm going to backtrack on my own comment actually, because Jack Broadbent, who we've all thought fairly highly of, went to Fev.
Yeah, he did. And now he's at Cass.
Now he's at Cass. Post
down in it.
Similar.
I think Corey Hall was a bit further on, if I remember rightly, in his thing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, saying that, the Championship's going to be a hell of a league, isn't it, this year?
Yeah.
So would you prefer to be at York, where you're challenging for a playoff and promotion, or at Wakefield? Let's face it, probably down at the bottom.
God, I'd rather be in the Black Hole of Calcutta than Wakey.
So yeah,
we'll be real.
Lovely city, nice stadium,
club on the up. Yeah,
or Wakefield. Mm-hmm. So I think
only one winner.
I think it's a shame, because I think he was thought highly of, but I think it's just the fact is he's 7th choice or whatever. He's not gonna get in, is he?
Just on Wakey, actually, obviously Lewis Murphy's bit, or it hasn't confirmed yet, has it? But it might be going to Sydney, and obviously people are talking about salary cap and stuff. Forget the salary cap and all that. Wakey, Sydney.
That's it. You don't even have to ask anything else.
Listen, you're talking to someone that moved back from Sydney to Cleckheaton, so I think depends where he's going.
In Sydney.
Yeah, he's signed for Roosters.
I don't think he's signed for it yet, has he?
That's the rumour that he is going.
I think the comparison is Sydney Roosters or Wakefield. He's a hell of a player, though. That kid.
It's the same kit.
Yeah, I think Saints were after him.
It's just the first of many. Now that the NRL cap's so high, it's just going to be the first of many that just jump over there.
And people think that's a negative. I'm not so sure. I think it'll do them loads of good. Yeah, we're losing players from Super League, but then they're just we'll have more, won't we? And also, think of it this way: that if any young kids playing rugby and they see rugby players going over to Australia and earning big money, quite good to be a rugby player, isn't it? So there might actually be a bit
becomes attractive. Yes.
It's
And
just
if as well there are English players, British players going over there and playing in the NRL, if we get our international game to a standard, they're going to be representing England like Dom Young. So it can work, double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But sort out the
And
international game.
good luck to him. I think the issue we'll have is Newman has 2 years of injury-free. He'll be gone.
He'll be gone. I think
He'll be
we are one. I think we're one healthy year from Harry Newman, and I think he'll one healthy year, and I think he'll jump. Whether we'll get a fee for him from somewhere, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just get the feeling he's destined for bigger things if he stays fit. If he stays,
Nah, he's destined for a 9-year contract like Brody Croft.
But I've read today it's got an NRL clause in it.
There's that NRL clause in year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I think. I mean, to be fair, I'm actually really pleased for Salford. We're going off on tangents again. We're very good at this, but I'm actually really pleased for Salford because Salford have every time they do get a good player, they do always get stolen. Obviously, we took Joel Moon off them as an example, and I didn't think they'd keep Aldercroft, but I think it's good for Super League that Salford are keeping him. But I don't think if he stays for those 8 years, I will be genuinely shocked.
No chance, is there? But I'm pleased for Salford.
Yeah, I'm pleased with myself. All you'd think the contract means is they'll get a decent transfer fee for him. But then again, if he's got an NRL, some kind of clause in there, it means nothing. We don't know the ins and outs, particularly.
I mean, it's good because what's the fee going to be? 250, 300 grand? If he's that good, an NRL club will pay that. They won't care, will they?
Yeah.
So I think they've done good business there. I think it's good PR. It's good for them. I like Salford as a club as well. It's just a shame that they can't seem to get the fan base up.
Yeah.
I think they do a lot of good stuff. After the car crash with Kukash and all that, I think they've turned it around. So yeah,
got to a grand final after he left. Yeah, proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
In terms, if Leeds were to give an 8-year contract, it would have to be to Morgan Gannon, wouldn't it? He'd have to be the one.
Yeah, because the problem is if you give it to Newman, you're paying him to be injured at this rate at the moment, aren't you? So you give it to Gannon.
Would be Gannon. Give him a 10 years.
And if you gave him an 8-year contract, he'd still be 26 at the end of it.
Yeah. Isn't it?
So give him 12, 15 years. Give him a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sign your life away, Morgan. Just to us. Talking of signings, nice tangent, Reese. The women's side have finally confirmed. It's been rumoured for a while. Georgia Hale has signed for the Rhinos for the 2023 season. This, to me, Chris, is she's an amazing player, literally one of the best players in the world. She was marquee for the Titans in the women's NRL. But in terms of her being Sam Lissoni's partner, is this, Chris, not a marketing and PR dream, this, having these two play for us?
Yeah, totally,
yeah.
They should be getting them out there. But I think, is the a Salford player? Him and his wife play for Salford.
Yes, Ken Seal's wife. I can't remember her name. Is it Vicky?
Yeah. But she's not.
She plays for the women's side as well.
I mean, she's a bit of a superstar, isn't she? So I think, marketing dream that get them out there, and above all else, she's a great player. The women's team this year are going to be fantastic with Amy Hardcastle, and they're going to be great. And
they're a good team anyway. They're current champions, and then you go and add the New Zealand international loose forward, and then you go and add the England centre, and they haven't really lost anyone yet.
There's a bit of a similar conversation to what we've just had. I think some of them might end up going over to women's NRL.
Yeah, no, we think people like Frank Goldthorpe is definitely.
I really hope they do. I really hope they do. And I've got one
think
question. So
so.
they've started paying the women or appearance fees, haven't they? Leeds.
Yes.
Does her payment go on the first team men's cap? You're not allowed to give partners incentives.
No, you're not. That's true.
I think you've looked too much into this, Chris.
It's a good question.
I don't read the T's and C's, mate. Like,
I've
I don't care.
not looked into it. I just thought. My first thought is, are they paying her a load of money? Because they can do, can't they? But then you're not allowed to pay a player's partner.
Well, there must be something in there, unless they're actually playing.
That's a question for anybody that knows that.
Well, we'll ask Rob Oates. We'll send him a message.
Yeah.
Rob, are you fiddling?
He's on next week.
Yeah, are you fiddling in the books, Rob?
He's on a week. Tell us, Rob. He's on a week today. Well, I'll
tell you now. That's what people. That's what people will be saying. They're paying her.
Let them say it. I don't care. We've got the best women's team out there.
Yeah,
that's what they can talk about. That's why they're talking about it, because they're jealous.
Yeah.
But just back to the on the women's side, and I'm being genuine when I say this. Reese, this women's side we have now, Amy Hardcastle, Georgia Hale, Frank Goff, all the other superstars that won everything last year. Should we keep this squad together? Maybe one or two will leave the narrow. Can you see this side losing a game? Because I can't.
I just, I mean, without putting the weight of expectation on the ball, I think, they're definitely going to be, they've definitely got the potential to do it. So I
genuinely believe they'll be unbeatable.
They genuinely could. They could. We've got an answer, apparently, Chris, to your paying question. So I'm not even going to pronounce. I'm assuming that's Alf.
I've seen it, but I don't understand the answer.
So we can pay Georgia whatever. They just can't pay Georgia more to account for Sam, or pay Sam more to account for her. I think I got it. I think I've got that one. Yeah. That makes sense to me. But no, generally, I do think that the women have the potential to win every game. Obviously, sorry, girls, to put that pressure on you, but they generally do have the potential to do it.
We're just waxing lyrical about how good they are.
Yeah.
Rightly so. Of course.
Yeah, well, exactly. We only had 3 teams win the grand final last year. We need 5 teams to win it this year. So.
Yeah. The men will win it, don't worry. We're winning it. Can you see them losing a game, Chris?
What, the men?
No, they're going unbeaten.
No, I could easily see it happening. They look so strong.
I could.
You're not going to like this, but I don't think that'd be great.
No,
maybe not. I'm a big believer that the 2 big growth aspects for rugby league are women's and wheelchairs, and I think we need it to be a bit more competitive. However, it'd be great if they went and won everything. I think they've restructured Women's Super League, haven't they? Or they're going to do for next year, and it makes a lot more sense. It's like a pyramid. But for me, that the growth in that area is critical because it's huge, isn't it? Women's sport, and it's absolutely brilliant. Is Women's Super League, and as much as it'd be good, and it'd be nice to have 3-4 teams, that could really win it. And I suppose we've got 3, haven't we? It's just we've made that many decent signings. We could be a bit. Not going to lose a game.
Easy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. They're doing a lot of them will be at Headingley, won't they, before games, which
double headers, yes.
I can see pros and cons of that. The pros for me is that I'll get to see a lot more of them. I'll make sure that I get there a bit early and go watch them. And I think the players like it as well, from what I've heard.
Yeah, definitely.
But I can see the negative that should it be standalone? Don't know. Probably not there yet, is it?
No, probably not yet. There's an argument to be had. The other thing that irks me about it is I can't finish work early enough to get to see. I've never seen a women's game live. Never.
It's pretty good for me if we're at Edinburgh because being in Farsley, it's 20 minutes away, and I can just get straight there.
Nip over.
I thought this was your job.
Yeah.
Not yet. No, believe it or not, everybody, I do have an actual job. God, I wish this
We only
was
take a small salary, don't we, me and you, out of this? Not too big.
Yeah, just a
big-
small cut, 85 grand a year for Reese, 25
then,
grand a year for myself.
The big dividends end of the year.
Yeah. Well, Chris, we're going to put you on the spot here because
Oh, God.
the Rhinos Super League season starts next year. So if I can squeeze some predictions for the Rhinos next year out of you, prediction for the Rhinos league position, where do you think we'll finish?
Second.
Second.
And Saints
not
won't be first. Saints won't be first.
I
You're
agree.
right, Saints won't be first. We are going to do a season preview, but they won't be first.
Wigan top for me.
Wigan.
Yeah.
Wigan. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right then. Challenge Cup winners.
Leeds.
Correct.
Nice. That's correct. So you are, what's that? 1 from 3 so far. And then grand final winners.
Leeds. I can't not say that, can I?
No. Not on this platform.
I can't.
It's just Leeds all the way.
And relegated. I don't
Yes.
think this will. I don't think this will be the case, but I want it to be Lee because if I've got to see that kit all year, I'll be absolutely sick of them.
I have to say, I'm sorry, Chris. You are going to see it all year. You just don't want to see it for another year.
Well, no, I might boycott any time I'm going to get a chance to see it. Dear
What
me.
did just on that kit? What you went to the league? What did it look like in person? Is it just
Absolute dog
as
shit?
disgusting in person?
I didn't think it could look worse than I thought. It might have looked better in person. It somehow were even worse. You can't read the letters or the numbers on the back.
No,
You can't read it.
no.
It's dreadful. Honestly, and obviously being a designer, my job, it makes me want to vomit.
If you did actually vomit onto a
It'd be
plate,
leopard.
it would look better. The design would be
Yeah.
better.
But I mean, the shirt's one thing, but the brand. Oh, I could talk to you for hours about that branding.
Rip
It's
it apart.
offensive. It's offensive on so many levels to me, or to everyone. I should have thought.
To everyone, to us all.
So it's not a dig against Lee the club. I don't actually think they'll finish bottom, but I pray that they do, so we don't have to see any of that shit
Again, yeah. For one season only, and they can go back to
What has surprised me going to the league game? They all love it. I've never. They had leopard skin everywhere. I'm like, what is going on? And it's not attractive on your average rugby league fan.
Your pie-eating Lancashire man wearing a bigger leopard print top. Oh,
Jesus!
carrying a carrier bag full of Dairy Lee sandwiches.
It might be fixtures to miss that you've got to miss a few. I've missed that one. I'm traumatized.
Sour cream sandwiches. Isn't that truth talking?
I'm not a big fan of our home kit, as I've said before. That's why I bought this. This is my new home kit.
That's your 2023 season kit.
Yeah, all that. Although I did cave and buy the home kit just for my collection. I don't know whether I'll wear it.
For the collection.
I wasn't a big fan of that, but Jesus, that's another level, is that Lee thing.
Yeah. What did you make of the third kit, Chris? The Leeds third kit?
I think it's a really nice idea. I'm not sure it's been executed very well. I get what they're trying to do.
That seems to be the theme, yeah.
It's the Leeds culture thing that they're doing, aren't they? And the colours. I don't think they should have done it white. They should have. The Leeds culture colours are pink and yellow. They should have just gone pink with yellow. I think it's the two colours on the white. It makes everything a bit like indistinguishable what it is, and I think they could have gone bolder.
Yeah,
I think if we've got to have a third kit, which I don't even realise why we've got to have a third kit, but I think that's the one that you can go a bit mental with, and I think it's why it's a bit.
We need another kit because both our kits clash with Warrington's kit.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, but the thing is, it's white, isn't it? So that class with a nightmare with Warrington. But yeah, I'd liked the idea, but we're going to end up with a Magic shirt as well, so that's 4. There'll be not one of them resemble an actual Leeds kit. So
no, not currently.
Not really.
This time, because they'll release 7. I think they'll release 7 shirts this year. Genuinely do 7. My count.
No, don't talk. I could rant about shirts and stuff for hours and bore people. Doesn't matter what we do.
We'll have to get you on for any new shirt release. We need to get Chris on, and he can give us like a Marcelo Bielsa PowerPoint on why it's wrong, why it's what they could have done.
Do you know what?
Better.
I'd love that. You'd get no viewers, and you'd definitely get no listeners because it'd be boring. But might set that up myself. Just me and a PowerPoint and no viewers.
Just talking into the mirror.
Yeah. Get madman.
This is what's wrong. Chris, Reese, it's been brilliant. Thanks a lot for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We will be back with, Reese, we are doing a Super League season preview, aren't we?
Yeah, that was the plan. We're doing,
we're
going to do a Super League season preview, and we're going to do a Leeds Rhinos season preview. All before we smash Warrington 40-0 at the Hallowell Jones Stadium on Thursday night.
So the next podcast will be the Super League season preview. And then on Wednesday, we've got Rob Oates coming on, joining us to preview the Rhinos season as well. So those are the podcasts coming up. Thanks to Chris. Thanks to Reese. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. We'll see you on the next Lot Pod. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.